What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stochastic here on the Odd Chopper channel, coming to you with a Wednesday edition of NBA Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell goes a long way for me on this video, goes a long way for you. That way you become a prize whatever great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. It's not just the YouTube woods, though. At Eric Lindquist threw a lock-in for the very first game of the slate, only one that started 7 p.m. Eastern time, 4 Pacific. And, well, it wasn't Joel Embiid triple-double, but it was Joel Embiid over 22.5 points purely because thought they were way under projecting his minutes across the industry. 35 minutes he ended up playing. Now, I didn't have him for 35, but I thought there was a chance he could get up to 30 in his first game back. Only 2 games all season where he had played under 26 minutes. And both of them, one he left early for an injury, and the other one he got ejected for no reason whatsoever. But anywho, the point is, smash button on that 22.5, 23.5. He puts up, I believe, 29, 11, and 10. Absurd return from Joel Embiid, but now he'll be resting here on Wednesday. We'll talk about that spot as well as all 11 games going on Wednesday's slate. If you could hit that like button for me, goes a long way for me on this video. At Eric Lindquist, follow me there. I'm going to have the prop thread out there yet again in the morning on Wednesday. I think this is a good way for me to do it when you have tons of games. I think it's just a little bit easier for me. Plus, there aren't a ton of props, not as many as I would like, at least here, out available. And the 2 plays that I do have from a prop department are going to be ladder leans, which is just an insane thing. Again, the NBA trade deadline's coming up Thursday. I can't tell you how stressful it is trying to figure out all the moving pieces, who could be going where, paying attention to X. It's a lot of fun. It's also something I want you to be very careful with your bankroll here on Wednesday. And then Thursday, we should have a green light special after that trade deadline is done. And Thursday night, we'll be recording for Friday, and all the dust will have settled. Anywho, that's enough here on the front end. Let's start talking about it on the back end. 11 games. Producer Jacob, let's get to the picks. Speaking of moving parts, Milwaukee minus 8.5 taking on Charlotte. And the obvious thing here is what ends up happening with this trade rumor. Jonas Valanciunas, Kyle Kuzma for Chris Middleton. Now, there's got to be other pieces coming along for the ride in some capacity, although J-Val on that 1-year Washington deal, Kyle Kuzma, you're going to need some extra money, honey, to come along with Middleton in that deal. So we'll see third team, lots of things that are could just be just speculative here on this program. But I got to say, this is probably the lean that I could have upgraded to a lean like. Now, there are a lot of lean likes on this program. In fact, there's only one official bet that I have down right now. Yes, you heard me. 11 games. I have 1 bet down, but I've got 4 that I'm eyeing, waiting for other books to drop. And my hard and fast rule here, lean likes, those are generally because I haven't bet them yet, but I have tons and tons of interest in it. And if you need a play and you want to play right from the get-go, I think it just makes the cut of expected value. But that beside the point. Charlotte on the other side, still waiting on Ball to get back. Micic is questionable. But Milwaukee, I think these are kind of faux Q tags with Damian Lillard and Giannis Antetokounmpo coming into tomorrow. Now, 5 p.m. Local time, NBA injury report night before, that's the requirement. That's why we're seeing them here with those Q tags. But I really think it's them covering their bases because they did exactly what I said they were going to do, and they punted that Oklahoma City game to the moon. Yeah, follow me at Eric Lindquist. That was useful. We got 8.5 on this video, 10 if you saw that, and then they win by 40,000 points against Milwaukee. That lineup was ridiculous. Also, minus 8.5 here on the Milwaukee side, if you must. But know that it could be a shorthanded spot for Milwaukee if they miss out on Middleton. And yeah, there's always the chance right now that either of those stars sit, but I think it's pretty unlikely. Cleveland at Detroit. Cleveland right now in a dogfight here with Boston, but Boston's starting to separate here in the 4th quarter. Feel really good about that Boston ticket that we had on I think Tuesday is going to be a pretty profitable day between X and this video. That is for sure. Obviously, only the 2 plays from the video, but Cleveland at -6 taking on Detroit. Shout out Detroit, man. I'm really enjoying Cade Cunningham. This version of the Detroit Pistons, said it before, I thought they were going to be above a 500 team here this season and surprise some people. I think it's just how good they've been cohesively. Now, 25-25 at the 500 mark right now. And this is a very difficult spot, but there's some major respect. While I'm talking about 6, I see 4.5s that exist across the marketplace right now too. I'm going to lean towards Detroit here with Cleveland on the back-to-back. I think those extra minutes, we'll see. It started to get out of hand where you could potentially see Cleveland rest their guys towards the end of it. Right now, nobody's reached the 30-minute mark on the entire Cleveland starting unit. They're down 14, 8:43 in the fourth quarter. Always watching these things live. F it, we'll do it live. But just a lean for now because, again, do I really want to go out of my way to pick on the number one adjusted offensive rating, number one actual offensive rating team in the Cleveland Cavaliers? No. We'll see. I doubt there's a lot of moves Cleveland's really going to make. They're kind of stuck with what they got coming into it, but what they got is still pretty good. San Antonio, big news in this one. Obviously, Atlanta on the other side. Jalen Johnson, he's going to be out for the rest of the season. Huge bummer for them. I say that all the time because I miss him. Zachary Risachet's had his moments in the sun, as has Dyson Daniels. Trae Young, iced Trae last time out against Detroit, the aforementioned Detroit Pistons. Unbelievable stuff from him. I don't know what Atlanta really does at the deadline, but we saw San Antonio do something at the deadline, and I think, I'm just reading the tea leaves, I think Chris Paul gets bought out. Now, hear me out. You've got De'Aaron Fox being acquired here by the San Antonio Spurs. De'Aaron Fox is going to rack up massive amount of assists here. The number one team right now in the entire NBA in assist rate is the San Antonio Spurs. The pick and roll obviously being a big part of that. And now you've got a pick and roll partner for Victor Wembanyama that is just beyond all reasoning. And you saw what he did there with Domantas Sabonis in Sacramento. I thought it was a decent unit between the two of them. Had more problems with the pieces that you put around each of them. Although, of course, Keegan Murray can knock down shots as soon as De'Aaron Fox leaves. But my thing is, I think Fox is a perfect fit. And I'm just reading the tea leaves here. Chris Paul is questionable tomorrow with a left index finger sprain. My guess is they ask him what he wants because De'Aaron Fox is much younger. You got Chris Paul here on a 2-year deal, I believe it is. There are lots of ways where he gets moved at the deadline or that they buy him out and he's able to go elsewhere. I think it's been a really good fit for both Chris Paul and the San Antonio Spurs, but sometimes the newer, younger toy, you got to take it out for a spin. So again, very perspective, but I'm encouraged by seeing De'Aaron Fox off the injury report and probable to play in this game. I am extremely interested in his assist ladder in this game. I want to be right from the get-go. Now, there's always this feeling out period that you have for guys. Sometimes you see them play 40 minutes right out of the gate. I don't think that's possible here for De'Aaron Fox, but I think the efficiency with a Devin Vassell, a Keldon Johnson, who they didn't have to give up at all, a Stephon Castle, none of these guys had to part ways in this De'Aaron Fox move. Zach LaVine there in Sacramento, who we'll talk about later. But while this is a lean, definitely could have made it a lean like. The only reason I'm not is I have no clue where the books open this number at, but it's under 10. I'm going to be running this thing up. Washington getting a point, just 1 point for Washington. Oh yeah, it's Brooklyn on the other side. Now, there's tons of uncertainty that exists here because, again, Kyle Kuzma, Jonas Valanciunas could get ripped off the floor, and you could be looking at a healthy dose of everybody's excited. Rashawn Holmes and Corey Kispert. I guess Gonzaga fans will be happy. Are Gonzaga fans happy right now? I haven't even looked at Gonzaga. I just know Iowa State's lost 3 in a row, and I'm in shambles. Washington money line lean. I doubt D'Angelo Russell plays in this basketball game on a back-to-back. I'd be pretty surprised, actually, here. Keon Johnson, potentially your starting point guard yet again. We've seen this iteration too many times for Brooklyn. Everybody's out. They're waiting to move Cam Johnson. Tons of moving pieces for both teams because they're going nowhere. They ain't going nowhere. They're not bad boys for life. A lean like here. Now, I very easily could have made this a play officially, but once again, I need to have betting tickets for all the things that I do. That is the code, and I don't have one here yet because I am a little uncertain what happens for both of these teams on a back-to-back. Miami laying a point up against Philadelphia here, and I'm definitely looking at the Miami side. One, because Joel Embiid, just playing fried chicken, that Joel Embiid. 35 minutes, his first game back on Tuesday. Yeah, he's not playing basketball on Wednesday against Bam Adebayo, but is Bam Adebayo even going to play basketball here on the back-to-back? I don't know. He just made Nikola Vucevic his you-know-what, and you get Ware out there, and Ware has looked awesome, over the course of this stint as a starter. There are times he's gone through the fluctuations like a normal rookie would, but overall, you got to really like what you've seen if you're Eric Spoelstra in the Heat. And Pat Riley, he's looking for reasons to smile because Jimmy Butler is giving him none of them with this trade clause. Oh, my God. Why are we even giving these guys this power at this point? Whatever, you made your bed, and Jimmy Butler is a crazy person. But Miami money line going to be a lean for me. Want to see the back-to-back for both these teams. Pay attention to the 76ers. KJ Martin was attached to a trade today that we still don't have word on. That's why he sat out. And Caleb Martin got shipped to Dallas. I doubt Quentin Grimes is available for Wednesday. But there's always the chance that maybe he is. That would be very surprising on one day. Usually it's 2 days at the minimum just because of physicals. They got to feel around, make sure you don't have stuff missing on you. That'd be weird. Also, that was not the best phrasing by me. Let's phrase stuff differently here. Memphis, Toronto, if you know, you know. And the real ones, they know. 243.5 total. 243.5 total. Now, big news in Toronto. Jakob Poeltl ended up leaving with a hip pointer injury in the first half. After the first half, that was. Did not come back for the second half. So pay attention to that because I'm going to be tracking at Toronto. You saw Chris Boucher. That's somebody that ended up sitting out. I think he could return and be actually necessary. Jonathan Mogbo otherwise, Orlando Robinson otherwise, your centers that are going to be splitting those minutes. Zach Edey should just have a field day against both of them. And Zach Edey, he doesn't run into a ton of minutes all the time, but he is somebody I'm very interested in laddering when the price is right and the matchup is right. And I think both kind of check out here against a Toronto team that maybe they'll try to force them to go small. Santi Aldama, probably be your other main target in those kind of situations. But we have Marcus Smart upgraded to questionable. John Contra upgraded to questionable. Brandon Clark is questionable with back soreness. And Vince Williams, they are getting very healthy at the right time. Obviously, Desmond Bane going to be out yet again. Gotham's reckoning. But Toronto is far, far more crippled here at the moment. We'll see who plays on this back-to-back. But there's just no way that I think Jakob Poeltl with a hip pointer and trade rumors going to LA that he is going to be stepping foot on a basketball floor here on Wednesday. But I'm going to call it the team total under 125.5 because that is a gigantic number on Memphis. Yes, walking in Memphis, but you're walking in Toronto in this case. And John Morant, yeah, he should be good to go here yet again. Looked pretty decent in his first game back, but these are just gigantic freaking numbers that I can't get behind. I've got them closer to 122, and, well, I'm expecting as books roll out that this number isn't exactly going to cripple. So it's going to be sitting around this 125, maybe higher. Want to get some lower VIG than minus 120, currently the best available at the Hard Rock. And the best available over at the Tails Discord, the Lindy's Tails Discord, that is Lindy50. Get 50% off either your first week or first month. I think I'm going to start bringing in some friends and family here from the Tails family. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Tails over at OddsShopper, it is exactly what its name says it is. You can tail me. You can tail any of these smart cappers down at the link below, signing up for their packages. Everybody's got their own individual Discords set up like, other sites that exist in the world, but much, much better because one, we've got Portfolio EV that you can attach to anything and have it directly on the OS app for yourself. And if you're unfamiliar with Portfolio EV, also an opportunity to look at that below too, but also the main feature for me is that free picks tab. Download the app. Tons of free picks getting put in there every single day from multiple cappers, multiple people, including Vernon Maxwell. Yeah, you heard me. Vernon Maxwell is in the Tails Discord. That is not a joke. The guy is extremely sharp in the NBA. He's got multiple rings. Can't wait to show you guys some goodness coming soon to the Tails Discord, but a little bit of a sneak preview. $10 for your first week, $25 for your first month. Lindy50 would love to have you there. Let's keep this momentum rolling. Back to the picks we go. Thank God. Thank God. Monday ended nicely. Tuesday off to a good start. Let's keep it going on hump day. Made it sound like an outro there. It's not an outro. Chicago could be an outro for numerous pieces here. They are taking on this Minnesota Timberwolves team, and the only bet that I currently have in period whatsoever right now, as of recording this video, and again, an hour after I get done or 10 minutes after I get done, I might fire something else up as well. Talked about the lean likes. Again, want to be very forward-facing with you and be honest about the way that I go about it. I think we could catch Chicago here in a little bit of a bind because, one, they're on a back-to-back. Two, I think there are pieces that they definitely don't want to push knowing that the trade deadline is coming up here. Now, who would those trade pieces be? First one that comes to mind is Lonzo Ball. I think there's a 0% chance that you see Lonzo Ball suit up for the Chicago Bulls here on Wednesday. Secondly, I think Nikola Vucevic, who didn't exactly do himself any favors if he actually wants to leave Chicago, but on a back-to-back, we know the center need, how many teams are looking for centers at the deadline. Dallas isn't, even though they lost 4 centers to injury, and I feel like they gained 4 more out of the middle of nowhere. But there are lots of teams that I think are center needy in this environment, in this iteration of the trade deadline. And I think Vooch actually fits in as a guy that, if the numbers work and make sense and you're trying to win today, looks better in a 22, 24-minute type capacity. Way better shooter than a Mason Plumlee. Lots of ways where he can help you spread the floor. Now, most teams that are looking to acquire him with that salary behind it, they're going to be people who want to play him 30, 32 minutes a night and get their money's worth. But I think the teams that should be looking at him know that they don't want him playing that many and can maybe split some center minutes, play the hot hand, do things of that nature. But that's beside the point. I love the Minnesota side here at -10.5. I expect everybody to be in for Minnesota outside of Julius Randle, Dante DiVincenzo, which are 2 major omissions, both of the acquisitions from the New York Knicks last season, but are coming into this season, excuse me. But I just don't see how this doesn't close higher than 10.5, knowing that something is going to break from a trade perspective on the Chicago side between Wednesday and Thursday. If it doesn't, Chicago's even dumber than I think they are, and I already think they're a dumb, dumb franchise. 4 games to go. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bells. I almost bet this one. Coming in right from the get-go. And I think I will bet it because it's at +120 now. So Golden State -6.5 at Utah. Just simply need to pull up my phone and make the bet. But we are looking at the Utah side. Tons of trade targets that exist there as well. Lauri Markkanen is questionable for this one. Thought about potentially putting Isaiah Collier, who just continues to rack up these assists, and I still don't freaking bet him every day. He ended up cashing his points plus rebounds yesterday too, by the way. Jacob, woo! It was just pick him, and I lost the cards anyway. But that is beside the point. What we're looking at is Steph Curry over 4.5 threes. One, this is a Utah team that does like to double at the top of the perimeter here a little bit more, but Keontae George and Isaiah Collier are first and second percentile defenders, respectively. You're telling me the 2 main point guards and Colin Sexton, who is out, not going to be playing basketball in this one, got dinged up with an ankle sprain, will not be showing up here. Might not play another game for Utah, if we're being honest, but you're telling me Isaiah Collier and Keontae George are going to be your 2 perimeter defenders to start on Steph Curry? Oh, okay. Steph, I know he's like, 3 for his last infinity and beyond. He's had like 3 in the last 2 games. Did not look good. Still won against Orlando. Shout out Draymond Green being back, but that definitely helps. Draymond Green being back helps Steph Curry's shooting splits. Over 4.5. I like it. I like it a lot, but it is a lean like for now. I'm not going to say that I'm ahead of the curve all the time. I try to be early. I try to capitalize when numbers just don't make sense and there's a change in injury situation that's not being accounted for. That's what we ran into with Zion Williamson. They're 10-point dogs against Denver, running back the exact same matchup. Now, I hate, they just played them. He's going to do the same thing analysis. Don't be one of those people. But I want to just point out the difference and why we're going to lean on Zion Williamson assists, even though it's plus money here this time around, as opposed to last time. One, I think people recognized 4.5 was a bad opening number there with the assist rate north of 40% with DeJounte Murray off the floor. He's out for the rest of the season. But 2, I'm not sure what Denver is going to do at the deadline, but there are very different ways that they go about maneuvering pieces, if you will. I think they've got young assets that people might be intrigued by. I kind of like Julian Strother for, certain teams around the entire league. He can be an absolute bucket. Cashed a lock in the Discord over 9.5 points because, again, there's just nobody left on that bench. But if you could turn Russell Westbrook into anybody, and I do mean anybody, do it right now. I doubt they can. But Jamal Murray, Christian Brown, Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, who sat out last game, and Nikola Jokic. Yeah, Nikola Jokic is pretty good. You don't want to waste a year of your prime with Jokic. He is too good, doing too many ridiculous things. But with Aaron Gordon back, defensively, that's somebody that can definitely clamp up on Zion. I think New Orleans, there are people who are going to try to pry away a piece or 2 from their side of the mountain. Trey Murphy's not going anywhere, got paid, and he's really good. Zion Williamson, really good. I can't imagine you break up those 2 with the rest of this team. I think anybody else, it could be a garage sale, just an absolute fire sale. But Denver specifically, getting Aaron Gordon back out there, don't feel like playing the 5.5 assist line here for Zion at the inflated number with a much, much better defender on the floor. So even though we took advantage, got the over 4.5 there, it's 5.5 plus 110 at open here. I need better than plus 120 at 5.5. I would need better than minus 125. So plus 120, minus 125. I would need on the 4.5, and you're not going to get that. So dream on, dream on. Dream until a dream comes true. Kevin Durant probably dreaming of re-teaming up with Steph Curry in some capacity. Again, didn't even bring that up on the Golden State side because I was just flying through analysis. But again, we're at sub 20 minutes. Want to give you guys good information, actionable information from a betting perspective for yourself. Because again, what I do every single day, I'm documenting, throwing together here for you, putting the leans, likes together to give you a confidence interval. And this is one that is yet again a freaking ladder. Phoenix 13.5 point dogs taking on OKC. Downgrade to doubtful for one Kevin Durant. Now, the major beneficiaries, Bradley Beal, Devin Booker. Two guys that one is starting, one is coming off the bench. Sounds like Bradley Beal is not going to waive his no trade clause. Sounds like he's going to keep his family in Phoenix no matter what. And Phoenix probably not thrilled about it, but they got to do something. They got to shake something up because this Phoenix team, it's kind of proven pretty thin. You're sitting with Yusuf Nurkic just wasting away in Margaritaville. And Oklahoma City on the other side, they're the staple of the West. They're the team you have to go chase. And in their current iteration, not really beatable by this Phoenix team any way you slice it. Obviously, my Timberwolves went nutties against them after losing the regular season finale last season and then just wiping the table with them 4 in a row. Felt really good as a Timberwolves fan. But Phoenix, man, they got to make some moves. And if Kevin Durant to Golden State gets you off of some money, if it gives you leeway to potentially rebuild around Booker, you do it. I very highly doubt Booker is going to be up for grabs. But this game's competitive. I think there's a single game parlay that exists where you take Devin Booker points with Phoenix, take maybe his entire portfolio with the 13.5, or you just take the ladder on points to the moon. I'm very curious. I bet we see this open at 29.5, 30.5, something ridiculous. And while OKC has one of the better defenses in the entire NBA, they're a little thinner than they normally are at the defensive position, at the shooting guard position, because no Cason Wallace. That one actually matters, but probably getting the torture chamber for Devin Booker. I just want to see the opening numbers here because I think the upside is tremendous. And our last game of the night, Orlando, they're getting 5 points up against Sacramento. And man, there's some 5.5s there around the industry. But Orlando, what's going on with Paolo Banchero? They're like 2-8 since he got back. Can't win a basketball game. Can't figure it out. They played competitively against Golden State, but lost another one there. Going to Portland. I guess Portland won 8 of their last 9. We'll see how they fare here on Tuesday evening. But I don't know what to tell you. I have no clue what's going on with Orlando because some of the pieces should be better because the pieces individually are fantastic. Franz Wagner, Paolo Banchero, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, somebody that if he doesn't believe in Orlando anymore, try to find a way back onto Denver. That would be a match made in heaven for them. But Sacramento, Zach LaVine, it's going to be his debut. I think you want to take advantage of the dead horse while it's down. Orlando on the road, they need to get back home. Obviously, they've had some home road splits that I haven't really believed over the course of the last year and a half, but I think you got to start believing it at a certain point. Paolo Banchero apparently just can't shoot on the road ever. What's he doing? Just might be doing certain things at the hotel room. I mean, let's be serious. We would hook up with a lot of people if we were professional athletes too. I don't know. I love my wife. Lean like. And that does it for another edition of NBA Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Head to the comments section below. Let me know your favorite plays that exist on the board for this lovely Wednesday slate we have before us. I'm sorry, but I wanted to be transparent and honest with you. It's the trade deadline. Be paying attention to news. Follow me at Eric Lindquist. I'm going to have a prop thread in the morning yet again. Hopefully it can be as profitable as this one that we fired up here on Tuesday. Again, Joel Embiid, shout out. I'm not going to call him the GOAT. He's actually somebody I don't even really like that much. But again, hey, there you go. Go sports. I like him today. I like Jacob today and most all the days. Not the days where you're going to like New Orleans for the Super Bowl. What a jerk. Go say hi to producer Jacob at the Super Bowl. He's way cooler than me. Everybody's cooler than me. Until next time, friends, I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the NBA streets on Wednesday.